So it seems like every day another pedal company releases another overdrive pedal. And because of that, us guitar players are spoiled for choice. So naturally, we've decided to combine overdrive pedals. But you're probably wondering, John, why do I need more than one overdrive pedal? Well, I'm going to tell you why. So, when it comes to your guitar tone, the number one thing you need to figure out before you add any other effects in terms of modulation, delay, reverb, you need to figure out your gain staging. All gain staging is essentially the steps of gain that you reach in your tone. And what I mean by that is going from your cleanest sound to your most overdriven sound. In the late 60s and early 70s, guitar players were still utilizing gain staging. And I know it's hard to believe because there wasn't many pedals or much gear at all during that time. Take Jimmy Page, for example, of Led Zeppelin. He was plugging in to his 100-watt Marshalls, and they were dimed, getting that crazy, amazing distorted overdrive tone. And then he played the intro to Stairway to Heaven, and it was this beautiful, clean sound. What Jimmy Page was doing was gain staging. He was utilizing the volume control on his guitar, turning it down to clean up his tone. Nowadays, the main way us guitar players utilize gain staging is using pedals, using multiple overdrive pedals and stacking them together to stage our gain structure. This is especially important nowadays when you play a style of music that requires a lot of dynamic changes, from going from really quiet, clean sections to really driving rock sections. Now, I'll show you how I stack my overdrive pedals together. It drastically changes depending on which guitar I use, what amp I'm running into, and how I have that amplifier set. So the way I currently have my pedal board set up is as follows. First pedal in the chain is the DCW Sunrise. It's a Bluesbreaker type overdrive pedal. As you can see, I have the overdrive set at about 2 o'clock. So that is my most gainy pedal. I have it first in the chain. I'm running into the RC booster from Exotic. That's just giving me kind of another layer of gain. It's not really volume, although lots of people use the RC booster for a volume boost. I'm using it for another gain boost. And as you can see, the EQ is pretty flat. You can kind of see a trend here with these. And last but not least, I'm running into the Electro Harmonix Soul Food, which is a Klon style pedal. As you can see, there's no drive on at all. I'm just using it as a volume and a little bit of a bright boost. So that's going to be for my solo tone. As for the amp, this is my custom Morris Grinder. As you can see, there's my initials there. Very cool. And this is how I have the amp set up. The amp does have a lot of gain on tap, but I'm running it right as it's starting to break up, right on the very edge. Now, because of the way I have the amp set up on the edge of breakup, as most guitar players tend to call it, one of those guitar player buzzwords, the pedals aren't really adding a lot of gain. What they're doing is pushing the amplifier itself into more overdrive. Lots of players, myself included, use this technique if they prefer the sound of an overdriving amp to an overdrive pedal itself on a clean pedal platform amp. Oh, another guitar player buzzword. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's simply personal preference. This is the tone that I prefer. Your mileage may vary. So I'm going to start off this test using my Gibson Les Paul. It has some nice Sheptone PAF pickups in it for that vintagey tone. Then after this guitar, I'll move over to my Strat, which is a totally different ballgame. Single coils, it's going to sound completely different. As you're beginning to notice, there are a lot of variables. So, as you can probably tell, there's so many variables to this, and really all you have to do is experiment. Experiment with different guitars, different pedals, different amps, how you set that amp, and manipulating your volume control. And as you saw, I was able to take the gainiest sound on my pedal board, every overdrive pedal on, and still clean up using the volume control on my guitar. And that's something that I don't think many guitar players utilize enough. Everything changes depending on where you have that volume control set. So what have we learned? Well, we've learned there's so many different variables when it comes to stacking overdrives. But the main takeaway I think for me is that you need to experiment. You need to experiment with different pedals, how you order those pedals. You know, the way I do it isn't the end all be all. It just isn't. You can try it so many different ways. You can have your most gainy pedal at the very end. There really is no rules to this. So I encourage you, try out new overdrive pedals, stack them together, use different amps, use different guitars. You may find a sound that you didn't know you loved. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and like the video and leave a comment. Let me know how you're going to be experimenting with your overdrive pedals. I've been John Gould. Just keep playing.